So you want to mod your Harley Davidson. I'm going to give you 5 good reasons why that is going to be a labor of love. And then stick around to the end. I got a bonus one that I've even had a couple friends do, and they regretted it. I really should have planned my route before I just fucking left. Alright guys, so you want to mod your Harley. I'm gonna give you 5 reasons why that may not be your best financial decision. First off, mods don't matter when you're reselling your bike. I got a rare case with my Sportster. All the stuff I did to it, I was able to sell it for more than what I paid for it. That bike is not a good example of what I'm talking about here, because a lot of people love to mod Sportsters to look crazy anyway. You know, I had the sissy bar on it, stitch seat on it, and I had mini apes on it with some Vans grips on the handlebars. You know, like it looked cool. I kind of miss that bike sometimes. So most of the time, whatever you're gonna do on your bike, just accept it as that's just you doing what you want to do to the bike, and it's not going to add value to it. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I love modding Harleys. That's the whole point. That's half the selling point behind them, is that you can mod them. Another real common Harley mod that I see is big bore mods. Now, those are really cool, and they will help you get more power and stuff like that, but they also affect the reliability of your motorcycle. Now, when I had my Sportster, I had an 883, and everyone always talks about making that bike 1200, 1275 and all that. I just never went that route because it affects the reliability. You know, wherever you want to do the upgrade, what shop. If you do it yourself, which at the time I was living in an apartment, so I wasn't about to do all that in the parking lot. I was gonna have to take it to a shop, and I just didn't want to have that risk of the reliability. Now, there are plenty of people who put plenty of miles on like their S&S kits and stuff like that. I'm not saying you're gonna blow up your bike by putting a big bore kit on it, but there's that risk. I liked my bike the way it was. It was fast enough, I guess. Not really. It was kind of slow as dirt. I liked the bike the way it was. It did its job. It was my first bike. I didn't need it to go 200 miles an hour or whatever. I'm 90% sure I have a shake feature on this. Number 3, loud pipe save lives. This one is subjective. Other people have their opinions on it. For me personally, yeah, people notice me more when I pull up to a red light. People definitely notice you more. And isn't that what you want? Like, you want to get noticed for your safety, and you want to be seen so that people know, oh, there's a motorcycle next to me. Here comes the modding issue with that, is on my Sportster I had the Vance & Hines short shots, and holy moly, were those things loud. And I loved them, right? Like, I loved being annoying with them or whatever. Man, these houses are so nice out here. I had that bike done up as most as I wanted to do to the engine. You know, I had a nice intake on it, as well as the exhaust and a nice tune to go along with all that. And it did bump the performance up a good bit. At least I noticed it. I never dynoed it or nothing like that. It was not the most horsepower worthy bike, but it was what I wanted out of it. But my wife, she hated it. She would not stay in the garage when I would start the bike and stuff like that, understandably. Again, that's another thing that you're gonna buy because you want it, not because anyone else wants it. Weather, a week till Christmas at the time I'm filming this. That's what I love about Texas. It's riding season all the time. Now for my next point, the chrome trap of Harley Davidson. Don't look at my bike, this is not a good example. What's down here? Let's go.
Huh?
Go down here. I stopped, Mr. Officer. Please don't come after me. Alright, cool. Let's get back on the road.
Side note, after I pulled over for a minute, I completely forgot where I was in my video, so I just kept on rambling. But we were in the middle of talking about chrome. Chrome makes the bike more heavy. A lot of times nowadays, negatively affects the value. I know all you old people love to put chrome on your Harleys. I'm not gonna take off chrome from this bike anytime soon. I like the way it looks. But chrome is another big thing in the Harley world that people love to add. And it does not help your value at all. Doesn't help your value, doesn't help the weight of the bike. If you look at a lot of the newer Harleys, they come all blacked out because that helps save weight. They come either full color or not a lot of chrome on it, because chrome is heavy, chrome makes more weight. That's another point for Harley to give you that catalog after you buy your bike, and they could sell you more chrome. But at the end of the day, it does nothing for you but add weight and possibly decrease value.
That was a cool little side quest. Alright, and number 5 is a big one. I'm gonna go with ape hangers. Even though I had many apes on my Sportster, realistically they are a terrible mod because they, I don't want to say ruin, but they really negatively affect your handling on your Harley. And those are a big thing here in the Harley world, is to put ape hangers on your bike. And I'm all for it. I like the way ape hangers look. I would love to get some 12-inch meat hook style hangers on this bike. It does affect the handling of your bike. And another thing that is really expensive and does not affect the value of your bike. When I bought this bike, there was literally already a fat boy there with ape hangers on it, and I didn't buy it because when I bought my Sportster with the mini apes, I had a bad experience with them due to the fact that one day all this side of the controls just decided to up and not work due to the fact of someone installing ape hangers and doing a terrible job with the wiring. And it took me about 6 hours to find the issue, because I went through everything before I started cutting open harnesses and stuff. And that's when I just said, whatever, we're gonna start cutting harnesses. And I found that it basically just fell apart with the wiring. Now that's a personal experience. You don't know if you're buying a bike with ape hangers if Harley Davidson actually did it, a good shop actually did it. That's a risk you take with buying used bikes. If your idea of owning a bike is to sell it in a couple years or a year, I didn't even keep my Sportster a year, just invest in tasteful mods. You know, mods that fit your bike. Because if you start putting candy paint jobs and stuff like that on it, that's not cheap to do. If you're investing and doing all that to a bike that you know you're not gonna have for a long time, you're gonna regret it when you sell it, because that's a lot of money wasted into a bike just to sell it and start all over again later on. You need to properly maintain it, get it tuned if you're doing performance stuff, because running a bike with exhaust, air filter, and not tuning it is real bad for the engine, such as the spark plugs fouling up and everything. You might be running it too lean, and all sorts of stuff can happen that's just going to cost you more money than if you went and bought a tuner, or better yet, got it tuned. You will always get better performance if you go get it tuned by a reputable shop, and the bike will always run. The bike will always run better. On this one, all I have is a Cobra exhaust, and there's really no need to tune it if you just have an exhaust. Yes, it would help, but there's no need for it. And just enjoy your bike the way it is. This bike, this fat boy, I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it rides. Just enjoy your bike. If you gotta put a ton of mods into it for you to enjoy it. You probably bought the wrong bike. You shouldn't have to be putting in all that work to make a bike the way that you want it. Especially with Harleys, man. There's bikes for anyone out there. You know, there's bikes for beginners, intermediate. There's bikes for everyone. And especially if you're new to riding bikes, don't get into modding them. Get used to how your bike performs, how your bike sounds, so that you can point out whether or not something's wrong with it. Because I will tell you from experience, you put that loud exhaust on there, you are not going to be able to tell whatever else is going on with the bike over that exhaust. And I'm not trying to sound like no old person Corvette owner. Oh, they came great from the factory. No, there's always stuff you can do. That's why we buy Harleys. We want to mod them. We want to do cool stuff to them. I know for my R6, I kind of got an option between super expensive companies or Amazon companies. For the chock fender that I want to do in the back, I can go super cheap and just get with a company that just makes the bare fender, no paint, no nothing, get it shipped to my door for like $150. That's a cool gate. Or I can do what I want to do, and there's a company, I think it's called Hogworks or something, and they make a fender paint matched with the tail lights and everything integrated into the fender. So you get that sleek look, no tail lights or nothing on the back, and it's legal. So I'm not saying don't mod your bikes. What I'm saying is, if you know you're gonna sell it, if you know this is just a learning bike, or this is just a temporary bike, do at least tasteful mods on it if you're not gonna keep it stock. Do stuff that's popular. Don't go out there slamming your bike. That's gonna be a bonus one. Don't slam your bike. That's a little bonus one right there. Oh my god, it ruins the suspension so bad. And there's so many companies that will make lowering kits for your bike that will just absolutely destroy your rear end while you're on the highway, you know. They look cool. I would love to put a lowering kit on this bike with that rear fender, make that big rear tire pop on this thing, but I just couldn't do it, you know. I like taking rides on my bike like this. It's not a show bike. It is what I ride just about every day to work, out for pleasure. You know, the sport bike's got its place, but this is my primary bike at the moment. And I like the way it rides.
Thank y'all for coming out with me on my little ramble there. Went out, saw some nice scenery and stuff like that. If you stuck around to the end, I deeply appreciate you. Y'all want to pick up some vests like this, like what I was wearing on my ride out today, visit First Manufacturing Co., and we'll see y'all next time.